dissatisfied in the present moment. By being discontented in the present moment, we are expressing our displeasure for the result which has come. Because result come in the present of the past, and if we are not happy with it, we are showing displeasure. It's like somebody giving us prasad, and we just take it and throw it somewhere and all. Somebody gives us with so much of love, so much of respect, and we don't regard it. So that is also another aspect of ordinary action. Bhagavan says, compared to karma yoga, this ordinary action is avaram, durena. By far, it is inferior because it leads to bondage. It leads to impurities of the mind. And it leads to being in the samsara chakra for a long time. So, buddhi yogad dhananjaya. Hey Dhananjaya, you understand. It is like comparing ordinary gutter water with amrut. Karma yoga is like amrut only. Therefore, hey Arjuna, buddhav sharanam anvichya. Therefore, you surrender, take refuge in this buddhi, karma yoga, buddhi yoga. You take refuge in this buddhi of samatva. Understand the psychology of samatva. Samatva means accepting whatever result comes, whether positive or negative, considering them as same as far as my spiritual vision is concerned. No doubt we should work towards better and better situation in the world outside. But once we perform the action, whatever comes should be accepted with equal vision. That samta removes the sting of the bondage of this karma. Because when we are not affected by the positive and the negative, by both the pairs of opposite, we become free from the influences of the karma. We become free from the bondage of karma. It's very interesting. It's like a magnet. The magnet has got this both positive and negative charge, North Pole and South Pole. So when the, let us say, strong magnets are kept outside, and if we move that magnet in between them, then it will get attracted and repelled like towards the other magnet also. It will move toward this and run away from this. But if that there is no charge in that magnet, it becomes free. It becomes like just like an iron piece, and it just moves. Then it is, of course, if there is a magnet, it will get attracted. But otherwise, it doesn't have any charge. It is neither attracted nor repelled. It is totally free from both. Similarly, when we have intense likes and dislikes towards the results of action, we then get propelled by the actions here and there. But when we become free from the insistence or attachment to the result, the mind remains more and more balanced. So Bhagavan says, hey Arjuna, surrender to this understanding. It might take its own time. Contemplate on it. And finally, develop this attitude in your mind. That attitude is called karma yoga. That buddhi is called karma yoga. Action itself is not called karma yoga. Then with that buddhi, whatever you do, whatever means your swadharma, whatever your duties are, it will be the best. But if that buddhi is not there, then even if you perform your duties, that will bind you, that will create agitation in your life, and it will not be fruitful spiritually. So, buddhav sharanam anvichya. Hey Dhananjaya, surrender to this buddhi, understanding. Because kripana phala hetavaha, those who are attached to the result of action, those whose attention is all the time in the results of action, and their performance of their work is not according to this karma yoga, Bhagavan says they are kripanaha. Kripana means they will go from this world without knowing the truth. This is a technical word. In the Upanishad, in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it is said to Gargi that those who leave this world without knowing the self, they are kripana, wretched. They are totally, they lose. That word is used, kripana. Kripana, literally it means kanjus, miser. Means these people have not used their life completely. Miser is one who has got the capacity but doesn't use it. It's called a miser. So as a human being, we have the capacity to recognize our own self. And if we do not recognize and leave this world, means you die, then such a person is called kripana. So Bhagavan says those who are attached to the result and those who don't follow the path of karma yoga, they are kripanaha. Kripanaha phalahetavaha. Therefore, hey Arjuna, you don't be like that. You surrender to this buddhi and fight this war. Then what will happen? Says further. Buddhi yukto jahatiha ubhe sukruta dushkrute tasmad yogaya yujyasva yoga karma sukaushalam buddhi yukto jahatiha ubhe sukruta dushkrute. Bhagavan says, once we are endowed with this buddhi, with this understanding, with this attitude of samatva, of equanimity, of not giving importance to one over the other, of keeping the mind absolutely same as per the result of action. See, one may get affected physically by the result. One may get emotionally also affected by the result. But one's understanding, one's conviction about the self should not get affected by the result. That's called samabuddhi also. This buddhi means understanding should remain same, remain unaffected by the ups and downs of the world. So Bhagavan says, once you are endowed with this buddhi of samata, buddhi yukto jahati iha ubhe sukruta dushkrute, then hey Arjuna, you will become free of both punya as well as papa. Sukruta means punya, dushkruta means papa. See, as I said, every action which we perform is classified broadly as good and bad, as papa and punya and papa. So from first our step is to, from papa, we have to go towards punya. And the second step is to transcend the punya also. From ordinary action, we should rise to the level of what we call good action. Then those good action also should be performed with karma yoga attitude and transcend both good as well as bad. Because punya itself is not considered as a great spiritual goal. Most of the people in the world, also in some religion and all, lot of importance is given to punya. And after performing some action in a special way, we acquire punya and then we get a special status after life. So one goes to heaven, or one goes to a special place of one's devata, Bhagwan Krishna's dham, or some Ramchandraji's place, or some Shiva's dham, or some Christian heaven, or some Jannat. All this is promised when we acquire a lot of punya. But here Bhagwan is not talking about punya. He is saying that when one is endowed with this karma yoga attitude, you go beyond both punya and papa. Because punya is also binding and papa is also binding. Both of us keep in this samsara only. Just imagine a person who is in jail. Suppose that person is given a sentence of life imprisonment. Then that person lives in the jail, and then he behaves very nicely there in the jail, follows all the rules, discipline, everything, and becomes a better individual. So the government then becomes more lenient with that person and reduces his sentence and sends him out also. But even when he is behaving very nicely, he is still in the jail only. So that behaving nicely is called punya, and behaving badly is called papa. If he remains in jail and there also he misbehaves very badly, then he is kept for longer time, and sometimes in more hardcore prisons and all. Similarly, the samsara is like a jail. And when we perform bad action, then we suffer more. But when we perform good action, then we are given special facilities in this jail. Like sometimes ministers are kept in jail, they are given special, or some, need not be, or special, some person who is very influential, given special facilities. He gets to keep his own mobile phone. He gets special food prepared for him. And he gets all the other facilities also. So, similarly, in this jail of this samsara, if we perform papa, we are more bound. But if we perform punya, things become more better. But it doesn't release us from this jail. We can become free of this jail only when we become free of both the influences of papa and punya also. And that can happen only by following this path of karma yoga, this attitude. It's very interesting, but one has to contemplate, and you yourself have to understand it. Other person's understanding will not help us. So, buddhi yuktaha, Bhagavan says, one who is endowed with this buddhi, iha, here in this lifetime itself, jahati, ubhe sukruta duskrute, he abandons or becomes free of both pap as well as punya. Becomes free. And becoming free of this papa and punya is becoming free of this samsara, getting established in one's own self. Therefore, Bhagavan says that tasmat yogaya yujyasva. Therefore, hey Arjuna, you strive to gain this yoga, karma yoga buddhi. You strive, put forth effort. It will not come very easily. So you put forth effort and bring this attitude, and you will become free. Little children playing, let us say, they are playing, two teams are there and they are playing. And they get into great arguments. Sometimes one party wins, sometimes another team wins, and they fight and they argue and all. Then you also, they request, you as an elderly person is also requested, you please, uncle, you play in my team. Or whoever. Then you say, okay, children are there. Then again you play the game. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but it doesn't make any difference to you. It should not make. If you are not interested whether it wins or loses, ki farak penda. What does it matter? If I win, I am here. If I lose also, I am here only. That type of attitude when we develop towards the result of action, at that very moment we will be free. Because the results